Hey guys, a couple of days ago, I read an interesting article or report on CNBC. I really want to share with it because it raised the interesting question for all the employers, all the investors. Are you hiring a future prisoner, or are you hiring a billionaire CEO? So this story is about. Ramaswamy, that's the guy's name. He's a CEO of Snowflake. Snowflake is a cloud storage company. Um, Last valuation says like $61 billion. So that's what I mean by, are you hiring a billionaire CEO, or are you hiring a future jailbird? Okay. Um, the reason I mentioned that, put this together, is that Ramaswamy, in an interview, video interview, I think it's in LinkedIn, he mentioned that one thing that get him all the benefit, all the success that over the year, and it's that the lesson is simple. You simply raise your hand whenever you see an opportunity, even though you don't think you're 100% ready for it. Okay, so that's the thing that make me thinking that Elizabeth Holmes, the one who's in a jail now, a prisoner now, um, her famous thinking is like fake it until you make it, right? So here is the difference. For Ramaswamy, his slogan is that you have to think ridiculously ambitious. So that's in his way, raising your hand, you are showing that you are ambitious. Okay, even though you're not completely ready, even though you don't think you're qualified, even though you are, you know, you're not there yet. You're only halfway through. So here the difference, I think, is this: ambitious, it's good. Having ambition is good, right? Especially for the leadership. However, you have to stay, uh, reasonable. If you basically needed to show two sides. Number one, you're ambitious. Number two, you are sticking to the fact. So here is the thing. For Elizabeth Holmes, she would say, raise her hand whenever somebody asks her a question. She would raise her hand and make up some stories, even though she never did it. She never had zero experience before. She would make up something story as if it's real. Okay, so that's bad. That may get you into the jail. So that's the difference. But for Ramaswamy, it's different. I think it's important that for even I've been a teacher, I know that if you ask tough questions, if there's nobody raised their hand and only one, that student will be your favorite, because even though the answer is not perfect, you can get a feeling that you like this student because he or she is willing to take the challenge and to voice his or her opinions or some relevant point. Okay, so that right there, it gives you some credit for whoever raised their hand in the classroom when nobody else is raising their hand. So you're the only one. So that gets you, certainly give you the edge, no problems. Make a good impression, right? But so the key is that you have to say it. So if a teacher asks you a question, you raise your hand and say, yeah, I don't have a direct experience, but I have something I believe is related. And then you talk about that. And that way, suddenly you make it reasonable. You make that you can link things. You can connect in the seemingly unrelated dots. And that's a nice personality. That's a nice quality, leadership quality, that gets you standing up above all the other guys. So that's what basically Ramaswamy was talking about. Okay, but you don't want to fake it. You don't want to say you don't want to lie about it. any experience that you don't have, or any plan you have, any understanding you don't really understand it. So that's the difference. The key is that raise your hand and then, say something relevant and then not stop there. The next step is to asking, further questions. Like, for example, if you offer a job or somebody give you an interview, you can ask them, what is the biggest challenge that you're facing now? And then you offer some opinions, some ideas, some suggestions based on your past experience. That's what an ambitious guy will be doing. Okay, and but not stop there. The number one is raise your hand. Number two, say something relevant. And number three, do more homework. Once you learn the challenges, you said, okay, I'll get back to you tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I can offer you some solutions based on my relevant experience in the past. That will be the perfect 3 point, that the three steps that you take. Number one shows that you're ambitious. Number two shows you're detail oriented. Number three says that your vision. You see that you can connect the dot, that seemingly unrelated dot. So that's what I'm thinking. Let's stop here.